This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I wanted to quickly go over the Project Prevent website with you all, projectpreventar.org. As you can see, this is our homepage. We'll spend the majority of the time just talking about these main tabs here at the top. But there's also a lot of other things that you can find just here on this homepage. As you can see right now, there are 3 pictures that are scrolling across the screen, and each of those are clickable so that you can find events, get connected with other chapters, see the work that chapters are doing across the state. But many of these can be found, or all of them actually can be found within these tabs at the top. For example, this picture here with our friends from Mountain Home, you can click Get Connected, but you could also find that from the Get Involved tab, scrolling here to Get Connected. So it's just another kind of fun way to find information. As you scroll down on the home page, here's where we have a message that will change periodically depending on what type of events or activities that we have going on at the time. For example, if we have our annual conference coming up, there'll be a message about the conference and links to learn more. Same for Ready, Set, Record or the Arkansas Travelers Kids Days and that type of thing. And right now we have our winners that we announced for the 2020 My Reason to Write project. But again, you could click here to learn more, and this will change throughout the year. You can see as we scroll, these little tabs over to the side go with us, move with us everywhere we go. And these are also just some quick ways to jump to the information that again is at these tabs here at the top. Also, I wanted to mention too, the Project Prevent logo at the top of the page will appear on each one of these individual pages. So anytime you want to navigate back to the home page, you can just click this logo and it'll take you right back here to this page. If you wanted to continue to scroll on the home page, there's some more pictures of some of our chapter members. And as you hover over each picture, it will tell you a little bit more about our chapters. And you could click to learn more about chapters. Same thing for events, how to become a member, and to get involved in different activities. So those are just another kind of fun way to find some things. We do have a couple of news articles that we'll highlight here on the home page, but I'll show you where you can find all of our news articles as well. And we have a quote from one of our advisors. This is Monica Simpson from Lisa Academy West here in Little Rock. And this is something that we like to showcase, and that will change throughout the year as well. At the bottom of the page, we have our partners, which is Arkansas Children's and the Arkansas Department of Health. Be Well Arkansas is the Department of Health's tobacco cessation program. So that will take you to that website. And then our friends at Arkansas Tobacco Control Coalition and the Arkansas Cancer Coalition. And each of these are clickable and they'll take you to those organizations' websites. At the very bottom, we have our contact information and just another way to jump to some of those tabs that I mentioned are at the top of the page. And then you can also connect to our social media here. So we'll just start here at the top with who we are. And this will be a great thing to go over with new members or have new members go visit the website themselves to learn more about Project Prevent. But also if you're just looking for kind of talking points, if you're going out and explaining Project Prevent to others, this will help you. So we'll click on Purpose, and it takes us to our mission statement. It'll talk about what the chapters do, what projects we have, and our pillars, prevention, education, and leadership, and how we tie that into our mission and our overall vision for the statewide coalition. So there's also a link for frequently asked questions, which it could be very helpful if you are trying to explain Project Prevent to people. What do you do? How can they get involved? What types of programs are available? And what kind of resources are available? So that's helpful. And then if you want to learn more about chapters, there's a link for chapters, and it really just kind of explains what that means to be a chapter and how that works. You can register a new chapter here, click here, and it'll take you to a form that you'll fill out and submit. And then to view the current chapters, you can click here, and this will download a PDF of current chapters in the state. And this is something that you could print. It's also clickable to go back to the website or my email if this is something that you wanted to share with others digitally. They could click to find the website. But it basically lists all of our chapters across the state. They're in alphabetical order by county. And outside the county, it will list the actual chapter name. And the map key lets you know that if the counties are white, that means there are no chapters. If they are the teal color here, that means there's one chapter in the county. The gold means that there are two. And then the red color means that there are 3 or more chapters in those counties. So that's a nice document for you guys to be able to use. Also under who we are, there's a link to go straight to contacting us here at the statewide coalition, and we will get back to anyone that has questions or that wants to get on our mailing list, that type of thing. So that's there, but also remember that our phone numbers and our address are really quick at the bottom of every page. So that's a little bit about who we are and then what we do. Our main projects are annual conference, Ready, Set, Record, and My Reason to Write. There's information on each of those. Our annual report is also another PDF that you can click and download, and you could print this out if you wanted to share it. But for 2019-2020 annual report, it lists the number of chapters, the number of youth participating in our different projects and activities, and how many activities that you all completed as chapters throughout the year. And then there's some really great quotes on the back side too. So that's available. When you go down to, for example, the annual conference, it'll tell you a little bit about the conference. Here we have the agenda listed, but when the conference is available for this upcoming year, there'll also be a link here where you can click to register for the conference. And then we'll include any other documents that you may need for that. Same thing for Ready, Set, Record or My Reason to Write. When you go to those pages, you can download the poster, the guidelines, you can RSVP for the film festival, and there'll also be a link where you could submit your video entry. My Reason to Write is no different. All of those documents or any of the forms that you would need to participate in any of these activities will be here on each page. And then when you go over to the Get Involved tab, you can register a chapter. And that'll just take you to a page where you can download the link that I had mentioned before that will just take you to a form where you can register a chapter. You can also join as an individual. And we do have several individuals around the state that don't happen to have a chapter in their area, but they can get on our mailing list and still be able to be the first to find out about our projects and activities and receive our newsletters and that type of thing. And then, as I mentioned too, the Get Connected, that is links to our, we have a little bit of a lag, links to our social media, which again are at the bottom of every page here. If you're not already following us on Facebook and Instagram, our handle is Project Prevent AR. And then there's a link to a page for you to report any activities that you all participate in throughout the year. So this is important. You'll click on the activity report and it opens up into a new page. It's a very simple form. So this can be completed by your chapter advisor, or any student chapter members can complete this form as well. It'll just need to be completed every time you all have a chapter meeting or do any chapter activities. So it may be a good idea just to nominate 1 or 2 people in your chapter to be responsible for completing the report. Looks like it's taken a minute to load, so we'll come back to it. Under news and events, our newsroom is where all of those articles are listed that I mentioned, and we highlight a couple on the home page. We need to close a few things. Okay, so in the newsroom, again, lots of different articles, not necessarily just related to tobacco prevention and cessation, but just some really good tips to incorporate wellness into your day and that type of thing. And then we have our own newsletters as well. So those are under news and events. Those are typically emailed out, but you can find them here and print them or email them and share them. Especially if you guys are, if your chapter is highlighted, you might want to share that with, you know, your leaders, whether that be your principal or the director of your Boys and Girls Club. But you can sign up to get on our mailing list to receive the newsletters here. But if you're already a registered chapter, then you'll get them anyway. But here will be the latest. You can also download the current one, and then all of the past issues are here as well. And then our event calendar, this is going to be really helpful. I do my best to share all of our meeting times and everything ahead of time, but if you have any question of when there are different meetings or events, you can always come to the calendar. I'm going to jump ahead to September, because that's when we'll have our first statewide meeting. So if you scroll down and you'll see our first statewide meeting is September 2nd, you can click on this and it will pull up the date and the time, but also the link, so you could connect directly to that meeting. Once that meeting is completed, we record them so that you can listen to them and watch them at a later date if you need to. Then those recording links will be available here as well. And then other things in the calendar, like for example, also in September, Ready, Set, Record will open. So it will tell you a little bit about it, and then the links to be able to download the posters or submit an entry will be available here too. So that calendar should be really, really helpful. We also have a photo gallery where we just like to highlight the different things that you guys are doing. These are some pictures from the Ready, Set, Record Film Festival. We have some pictures from the conference, and then just some pictures of chapters really kind of just doing outreach in their areas too. So lots of different pictures there, and we change those out throughout the year as well. There's also a PDF of the calendar for this year that you could download, just like the chapter map. The resources tab, I think you guys will get a lot of use out of. So the first page under resources is to get help quitting. And this is becoming more and more important. Even though we're in the work of prevention, we know that many young people are already using these products, especially vaping. So as you are reaching out to your friends and your classmates and others that have already struggled with a nicotine addiction, you can give them some resources that are right here at your fingertips that will help them be able to quit. The Truth Initiative has a great program. Be Well Arkansas, like I mentioned, Smoke Free Teen has one that to just specific to quitting vaping, smokefree.gov and CDC How to Quit. So those are some great resources there. There's a lot of different materials that we've uploaded here for when you do host events, or if you just want to hang posters and things around your school. We've got flyers that are specific to teens or parents, or tip sheets, different posters, that type of thing. And then we also have some activity sheets, especially if you're working with younger students. We've got lots of different coloring sheets and worksheets and different activities that you can print, especially if you're visiting classrooms of younger students, or even if you're hosting a booth at an event like this, you may want to have some coloring sheets and some crayons on hand for younger kids to come around as well. Then there's some great links here under resources, important links. The toll of tobacco in Arkansas is from Tobacco Free Kids, and they update that regularly, and that's all of the tobacco related statistics for our state. So that one's really good to have. There's a lot of good information on CDC, the Real Cost, Truth Initiative, American Lung Association, lots of great links there to share. And you can print materials for when you're doing activities from a lot of these links as well. And then lastly, our partners, which I had mentioned are already at the bottom of each page, but you can click each of these to navigate to these other websites as well. And remember, anytime you're on any of these pages, you can click the Project Prevent logo, and that will take you back to the home page. I think that you'll find it very easy to navigate. Oh, I want to go back to really quickly the activity report. So each time you guys have a meeting or do an activity, one of this simple, easy, short form will need to be submitted. You'll just put the date and then your chapter name. It's important that you use the same name each time. Whatever you choose to use, just make sure that it is the same. For example, Cross County High School someone may come in and enter Cross County High School. The next person might enter Cross County Project Prevent. The next person might enter Thunderbirds Against Drugs because that's their chapter name. They call it TAD for short. So there's lots of different names that one chapter could go by. So just be sure that you always use the same name so that when we do run the report, all of your activities will be in one place. You'll select whether or not you're funded or non-funded, or you're part of the SWAG group or a sub-grantee chapter. If you're confused about this, just let me know. But basically, a lot of our chapters have funding either from Arkansas Children's or from the Department of Health, and some have no funding at all, which is common, and we always have a couple of chapters that 2 or 3 chapters each year that don't receive any funding, but they do Project Prevent anyway and start a chapter, and they're doing activities, and those are the chapters that will be first in line the following year to receive one of those mini grants to become a funded chapter the following year. If you receive a mini grant directly from Arkansas Children's, then you are considered a funded chapter. If you receive a mini grant from the Department of Health and you're part of the SWAG, Student Wellness advocacy groups, then that's where you'll click here. And then I mentioned the tobacco subgrantees. They are individuals that work for different health agencies or nonprofits that receive grant funding as well from the Department of Health. So again, if you have questions about that, just let me know. It'll ask you what type of activity you're reporting, whether it's a meeting or a community event, how many students were there all together, what county was it in, what's the zip code, whether or not there was media coverage. So if someone from your local newspaper came out and took some pictures and asked you a few questions and you would want to say yes, then there was media coverage. And then you'll just do a short description of the activity. So if you hosted a booth at your county fair and you used your tobacco spin wheel for trivia questions and handed out coloring sheets and flyers and fact sheets, then you'll just kind of list that here, just kind of like what you did. And then submit it. And this goes directly to the Department of Health, and they're keeping up with the tobacco activities for the entire state. So I know that was a quick overview, but again, projectpreventar.org, everything that you should need throughout the year can probably be found here. And I hope that you find that it is easy to use and easy to find things. And I hope to see all of your faces on our website at some point, whether it's in our photo gallery or from events that we've done, or as we change out these type of pictures throughout the year. I hope to see all of you on here. If you have any questions, of course, let me know, and I thank you for your time.